All praise be to Allah. We praise Him. We ask for His help. We ask for His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from the wickedness of ourselves and from the badness of our deeds. Whoever been given by Allah guidance, then nobody can be misguided for him. Whoever misguided by Allah, then nobody can be a guider for him. I bear with no God worth worship except Allah. Only Him, no associate for Him. And I bear with Muhammad, His messenger and His servant. O Allah, give good praise upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad. And give good praise upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. O Allah, bless upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad. Bless upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. Very most worthy of praise and mu'azzatal in glory. Today for our NMC class part 1, our topic today will be, why must my partner revert before marriage? This question actually comes when you compare the situation between certain countries, different countries like Indonesia and Malaysia. In Malaysia, the rules is there. It's not permissible for you to have marriage between different religion, especially Islam and other religion. In Indonesia, because they are holding to the word Pancasila, the 5 pillars that they made in when they formed their country, that all religions are the same. So they gave permission for anybody to marry to anybody in different between religion also actually permissible. And also when you compare this to Western country, most of the countries actually they don't have any problem about that. Okay, but when we discuss this from the point of view of our religion, Islam, its rule is actually is mentioned in the Quran. Allah Ta'ala said this in Al-Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 221. Allah Ta'ala said, وَلَا تَنْكِهُ الْمُشْرِكَاتِ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنْ. Don't you marry a polytheist woman until she become a believer. وَلَا أَمَةٌ مُؤْمِنَةٌ خَيْرٌ مُشْرِكَةٍ وَلَوْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ. Indeed, that a female servant who is a believer is better than the polytheist woman, even though the woman is actually astonished. You awe by her, looking at her beauty or her wealth or her position, because that is one of the 3 things that related to marriage. Because the Prophet ﷺ did say in his saying, he said that tunkahul mar'atu li arba'in. A woman will be married because of 4 reasons. Lidiniha, because of her religion. Li jamaliha, because of her beauty. Walimaliha, because of her wealth. Wali hasabiha, because of her status or position in the society. Then the Prophet said, Fazfar bidat ad-din taribat yadak. Then go acquire the one that have religion, and you actually will be gaining more profit than others. So that is the thing when being said that even though the woman is actually you feel astonished by her, if she is not a believer, then a servant believer, a woman who is servant and believers, among the believers, is actually better than her. And after that, Allah said, "Wala tunkihul musyrikina hatta yu'minu." And don't you marry, means your daughters or your sisters, means the female family members of yours, to a not a polytheist man. Walau a'jabakum, even though the person is actually really making you to feel astonished with her strength and everything, her look, his position, his wealth. Wala tinkul musyrikin hatta yu'minu. Don't you marry your female family members to a polytheist until they become a believer. Wala abdun mu'minun. Indeed, a male servant is actually better. Min mushrikin than a polytheist man. Walau a'jabakum, even though the person is ready, making you to feel inspired, or you feel that the person is so great. It's also like being said by the Prophet Sallam, إِذَا جَاءَكُمْ مَنْ تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ فَزَوِّجُوهُ. If somebody came to you from among those who have, who actually you feel inspired by his religion or his manners, two things, religion and manners. فَزَوِّجُوهُ, make him to marry from your spouse, your family members. They say from the point of view of women, for four things. The Prophet said, for men, there's two things, religion and manners. إِذَا جَاءَكُمْ مَنْ تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ فَزَوِّجُوهُ. So, from the ayah 221, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah ta'ala actually forbid us to marry anybody who is from the non-believers to be our spouse or our partner in marriage. If you look into the history that the Prophet ﷺ, his daughter Zainab binti Muhammad, if not mistaken, the eldest daughter of the Prophet ﷺ, she actually was married to a man called Abu al-As. When the Prophet ﷺ and his family convert to Islam, means all his family become Muslim, his son-in-law didn't become Muslim and still stay as a polytheist man. During the war of Badr, the son-in-law was captured, and his daughter Zainab sent a necklace to free her husband. So the Prophet ﷺ, when he saw the necklace, he knew that this is from his daughter Zainab to free her husband. So both of them is actually not the same religion at that time. This is from the previous one before, the ayah of Mumtahana. I will recite it after this. Essentially, that is the first rule. It's really permissible to be, even though one of them is a Muslim, one of them is not a Muslim. Zainab, the daughter of the Prophet ﷺ, become Muslimah, but her husband didn't become Muslim. But when the war of Badr, second year of Hijrah, so the son-in-law was captured. So his wife, the daughter of the Prophet ﷺ, sent the necklace that belonged to Khadijah to free her husband. So the Prophet, when he saw that necklace, he knew that this is from his daughter. So he said to his son-in-law, I free you, but on condition that you send my daughter to Medina. So Abu al-As actually accept that condition. So the son-in-law is sent, who is not still Muslim at that time, sent his wife Zainab to Medina. Few years after that, Abu al-As become Muslim, and they become together, and no new agreement was made between them. They are still husband and wife. This is what actually happened before the ayah of Surah Al-Mumtahana. During the 7th year of Hijrah, after the truce between the Prophet ﷺ with the people of Mecca, that permits people of Mecca to come to Medina, and people of Medina to come to Mecca. Actually happened at that time, women from Mecca who are actually already believers, they came to Mecca and doesn't want to go back to their family anymore because their family is not Muslim. So Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Al-Mumtahana, verse number 10. Surah Al-Mumtahana, verse number 10, Allah Ta'ala said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O people have believed. Idza ja'akumul mu'minat muhajirat, when the believers woman came to you, in migrating, migration from Mecca to Medina. Famtahinuhun, you have to test them. Allahu a'lam bi imanihim, but Allah is really knowing about their belief. Why they come to Medina? Is it running from their husband only, or because they are believers? Fa in alimtumuhunna mu'minatin, if you know that they, the woman who actually migrate to Medina from people Mecca, actually really believers, then fala tarji'uhunna lil kuffar. Don't you return them back to the people who are not believers. Don't you return them to the people of Mecca anymore. And Allah Ta'ala said, La hunna hillul lahum. They, the woman, the believers woman, are not halal, are not permissible for those who actually, their family who actually not the believers. And wala hum yahilluna lahun. And they also not permissible for them. So this ayah, actually the last ayah that revealed to the Prophet ﷺ that stop the intermarriage between Muslim and non-Muslim. At that time, so the Prophet ﷺ actually give that as a rule. So we actually, when we say that, why must your spouse or your partners revert to Islam before marriage? Because first thing is actually there's a rule in Islam. The story that I mentioned just now is related to those who already married. People already married. One of them revert to Islam, and the other one is not yet. But this actually what we are talking about. Maybe we are talking about people who actually, both of them is actually not not revert yet. So one of them revert. So the other one who want to marry, the other person must revert to Islam first because of its rule of Islam. Islam doesn't permit for intermarriage to happen. Okay, why? It's actually, like I said, this is a rule from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Secondly, because in Islam is actually not only a belief like supporting a political party. This guy, Republican, this is a Democrat. No, it's not about that. Not about your stand in political stand. Because Islam or religion is complete set of life. Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, Inna deena inda Allah Islam. The deen, the way of life that is actually accepted in the side of Allah is only Islam. Allah Ta'ala said, Wa may yabtaghi ghayra al-Islam dinan, whoever seek other than Islam as the way of life, falan yuqbala minhu, will not be accepted from him, from her. Wa fil akhirati minal khasirin, and he in last day are among the losers. So from this ayah, you know that it is set of life, not only a belief. In Islam, belief is not something that you only have inside your heart. It must be said by your tongue, and must be done by your body. It's three said, whatever inside your heart, said by your tongue, and also be on your practical move. It's not only what you believe inside your heart. We know that in philosophy they separated between this. They said that as long as you believe, like you believe that this is a handphone, that is a belief. He said, you believe that this is a tissue, that is a belief. But in Islam, the belief is not only whatever inside your heart. Because of that, when you say that I believe in my heart that Allah is the only one God and Muhammad is the messenger, you must pronounce it to be accepted. To be accepted as a Muslim, you must pronounce it. You must say there's no God worth worship except Allah and Muhammad is messenger. You must bear witness about that. Then only you become Muslim. As long as you don't pronounce it, except you are a mute person, then your movement will be looked into. If not, then you have to say it. You cannot say that I don't want to say it, but I believe inside my heart. You must do it. The same as the practical command by Allah. Allah commanded you to pray. You must pray because that is the sign of your belief. Fasting, paying alms or zakah, going hajj, saying good words, stop from saying bad words, doing, promoting whatever is good, stopping whatever is evil. that is actually among belief. In Islam, that is the set of the belief. It's not only what you say, just I believe inside my heart. That is not, because of that, when you say it's like that, so having your partners not with you inside that belief is actually will be problematic. Why? Because from among the rules or among the command of Allah in the Quran, for you to take care of your family, Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Al-Tahrim, verse number 6, Allah Ta'ala said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O people who have belief, Qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara, protect yourself and your family from the hellfire. Protect yourself and your family from the hellfire. And we know that when Allah Ta'ala said this, it's responsibility for you to take care of yourself and your family together from the hellfire. And you know that in our belief, in Islam, like I recite just now, Inna deena inda Allah al-Islam, the deen that by the side of Allah only Islam. And whoever seek other than Islam as the way of life, it will not accepted from him. You know deeply because this is inside the Quran. You cannot say that, I know this is inside the Quran, but I think Allah Ta'ala doesn't want this. This is command from Allah for you. So how can you protect your family from the hellfire if you not actually stopping them from polytheist belief or disobeying Allah? Any command from Allah. From the first start is actually about worshipping only Allah. Worshipping only Allah. Nothing than Allah. Like if you say that one person is a Muslim and the spouse is Hindus, so the polytheist belief will be on the Hindu side, or even on the other side, Buddhist and other that, because they accept to have more than one deity to be worshipped, and that is actually against the teaching of Islam. So how can you protect your family, the person that you love, from the hellfire if they are not with you in the belief? That's the first one. Secondly, because marriage is actually not only about intimacy, it's about whole life. You know, how do you want to guide your children, what to be wrong or right in your life. So to be in the same page with your spouse or your partner is actually a must in marriage. To be on the same road. Maybe one is actually more diligent, the other one is actually lazy. That's another thing. But the thing is, you must be on the same page. You must say what is wrong, what is right is right. You know, when you have a partner that is actually not in the same belief with you, like we said about such involving alcohol or intoxicated drinks. In Islam is forbidden. But your spouse said, actually, in my belief, there's no forbiddance about that. So what you want to teach your children? How do you teach your children about that? Which one? The mother or the father's belief. So this will separate the family. It's happened about this when it's not together. And because of that, here at Khaadem, we always encourage whoever actually have marriage here or actually have their reversion here. We always encourage them to come to the classes together. Not only one. Not only the future wife or the born Muslim husband. They must come together to learn together. Because if one of them is lack in knowledge, that will have separation between them. Make a crack between them because one say this is wrong, Ustaz say is wrong. The other say, no, from my childhood, this is right. But the base is actually Islam is not based on whatever you heard. It's evidence. What being said in the Quran, what is in the Sunnah. That is Islam. It's not what you say, I think is good, then it's good, or whatever I feel is good, is good. Because it's related to the command of Allah. Because of that, I remember once, But because of that, we remind that this rule, this thing about reversion before marriage, is actually from the rule of Islam. It's not from what we say because it's the law of the country. Even though it is the law of country, here in Malaysia, it's a law. You cannot have a Muslim person to marry a non-Muslim person. That is actually inside the law. Because they want to stop any havoc or any dispute. You know, when happened, actually I remember a few years ago, when the husband reverted to Islam. He actually made the reversion, but didn't announce to the family what happened. So the authority know about his reversion, but the family doesn't know. So what happened after that, when he died, so the family thought that the authority want to take all his possession, doesn't give anything to the family. So starting from that point, so the fight happened. Because the person, the husband didn't mention to his family clearly that he become a Muslim and doesn't tell his family about anything about that. So start dispute happen. You know, this thing can happen every day. If you have things like this in our society about one Muslim, the family of the Muslim will say this and the other one will say the other things. They'll fight. Even actually they will fight for the corpse, the burial process will be done. The Hindus will say through our way will burn. The Muslims say no, we have to bury this guy in a Muslim cemetery. So this dispute will be happening. So because of that, the law of the country is doing that. Is mentioning that. If not, like I said, it's not about the law of the country. We are saying this because it is law of the God that revealed to us, sent to us, Islam. He is the one that making this rule. So because of that, you must make sure that your spouse be with you in the same page. Like I said, because if you are in the same page, whatever being told to you by Allah, then you can practice it in your family. If not, like the Prophet ﷺ said about Amuru awladakum bis-salawahum ibn Saba. Tell your children or command your children to pray when they are 7 years old. When they are 7 years old, tell them to pray. Teach them to pray. Do the prayer, do the salat when they are 7 years old. So if you want to implement that and your spouse or your partner is not a Muslim, can you imagine what will happen? Your family, the child will run to the mother, say, Mom, I don't want to pray. The mother will say, don't force my daughter to pray. So what happened to the family? Every day about this and that, not eating this, not eating that. Even though, actually, if you look into the command or the 10 commandment in the Jews, or should be followed by the Christian, it's actually being taken care inside Islam. Not to lie, not to kill, not to fornicate. Everything is actually there. The same as in Islam. But the problem is after, 100 of years, alteration happened to the religion. So people are actually not following their religion anymore. So the one that, like I remember, our Sheikh Husseini, Hafidhullah, he told me about the story when he went to Brunei to teach about Islam. When the king of Brunei, at that time, he have a decree that he want everybody in Brunei to know about Islam. So even the non-Muslim will be taught about Islam. The teaching about Islam will be to all people, even into the army. At that time, the army of Brunei is not the local. Most of them are from Myanmar. They call as Gurkha. And the captain for the army, for the general for the army is actually a British person, a Christian. So Sheikh said at first, the general doesn't want to give him permission to enter, but because of the royal decree, he have to open. So he said, okay, come, but just on the field, without any, not in the hall, not by sitting, just standing, teach about Islam. So Sheikh said he said that I talked about 15 minutes, telling them the importance, because you are actually staying in a country that the king is a Muslim. All the authorities are the Muslims. So you have to know about Islam because you are staying with them. That is the first reason Sheikh said to them. After 15 minutes, then he opened for Q&A. So a Buddhist or a Myanmar soldier, Gurkha, raised a hand and want to ask a question. So she said, come. He asked a question. He said, why Muslim is prohibiting pork? Why Muslim or Islam prohibits pork? Why? So at first when she said this, I thought that we will answer the same as most people will answer. These days, when you ask this, people will say that because the pig have many disease, many germs, many viruses and everything. Sheikh didn't answer like that. This is what to relate about the obedience to religion. Sheikh said that the question is wrong. He said, why? He said, because it is the question, he said to the guy, you are Buddhist. Yes. You are following Dharma. The book of a Buddhist is Dharma. Then he said, how could you eat pork? Because inside Dharma, the book of Buddhists, the Buddhists cannot eat any living animal at all. Even you go into the Hindus, they cannot eat. You go to the Christian, you go to the general, you also cannot eat. Because from the commandment, or from the rules of the Torah, you cannot eat. So the question is not why Muslim or why Islam prohibits pork. It's actually, the topic is, why didn't all of you follow your own religion? Because Muslim is obedient to the command of Allah. When Allah said, حُرِّمَتْ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةُ وَالدَّمُ وَالْحَمَ الْخِنْزِيرِ. It's forbidden upon you the thing that die without slaughtering the way of Islam, ad-dam, blood, and also the flesh of the pig. So we are following the command. You don't follow, you don't follow, you don't follow. It's not about the question why Muslim or Islam prohibits pork. It's actually the true question is, why are you all didn't follow the command of your own religion? Because from the teaching of the religion, it's actually you can comply it in the end to whatever concluded inside Islam. But when you go into the teaching of the monks, the gurus, the Sami, everything will go sided. So it's something like that. You must know that about the following of whatever inside the religion is actually we following whatever being told to us. I remember when I was actually around 19 years old, I was staying in Taman Bunga Raya, Setapak. My neighbors are the students of, at that time, College Tengku Abdul Rahman. Some of them actually, most of them is non-Muslim, Chinese, different religions. Some of them are Christian, some of them are Buddhist. So one of my neighbors asked me, she said, if we love each other, why couldn't we just marry and don't care about our religion? Then I said to her, in Islam is forbidden. We cannot do that. But she said that, but we love each other, then we just marry. Why couldn't we just marry because of love? So I said, you are leaving the command of your Lord because of love? She said, yes, because of love I will leave that. Then I said, come to Islam. Because you don't really follow your religion anymore. Just come to Islam. Be a Muslimah and marry the guy that you love. Because you are not following your own religion. You are not following your own religion at all. Because of that, then better for you to follow the religion that is actually really with the person that you love. Because you don't follow your religion. If you follow religion, then there's another problem. Is it mentioned inside the Bible about that? Not marrying the same faith? Can you help me about this? Is it there? Inside Bible. Is there any command about that? I have to refer to him. Okay. Because inside that, most of the teaching of the religion, they don't have that. They don't have that clause about not marrying whoever is not from the same faith of you. In Islam, you have that wording from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because of that, it is not permissible. Yeah? 2 Corinthians. Second Corinthians is actually from Paul, is it? Yeah. From word of Paul. Okay. But from the Torah itself doesn't have from the. Yeah, I know. They actually they can have any partners is not from their own religion. Partners they can have. If you look into Samson and all the story, they actually, even David, Solomon, when he married, men can, woman can't. Okay, men can, woman can't. Okay, anyway, that is actually thing, because we look into that thing. This topic is about the rule of religion and whatever happened after marriage. Because of that, Islam forbid from interfaith marriage. It's not because we don't respect, but the respect for us is actually more towards what we command by Allah, not whatever we think that is better for us to do. Okay? Any question? Can you give a microphone to him? Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. So we're talking about, we accept that a Muslim shouldn't marry a non-Muslim.
Okay.
What about a Muslim marrying someone that is perhaps under a different manhaj or a different
manhaj?
Yeah. So, for example, if you follow the manhaj of a Salaf, but then you marry someone who is following one of the four schools, but is shadid on that.
Okay.
There could be.
First thing first. About marrying other than the one that you are following. Okay. You are actually in Islam. If you said about the school of fiqh, such as this Shafi'i, this is Hanbali, this is Hanafi, can they intermarry each other? They don't have any problem about that. Because first thing first, everybody is following the Quran and Sunnah. Only that how they understand it, sometimes different. Because maybe some of them is following the opinion of Umar ibn Khattab. Some of them following the opinion of Ibn Abbas. So when they are following the opinion of the companion, sometimes at first it's just opinion, but after 100 years, it becomes a school of thought. Okay. From that point, he doesn't have any problem. Even though in the 50s, before our time today, in the 50s, 1950s, there's a problem there. There are actually a rule that the Hanafis cannot marry the Shafi'is. That is because of the wrong opinion, because of their own scholars at that time. Because they thought that even they are praying differently. At Mecca, once before, they're praying differently. The Shafi'i will pray from this side, the Hanafi will pray from this side, the Hanbali will from this side, Maliki from this side. Different imam for different jama'ah. So that is actually totally wrong, because the companion, even though they have dispute about opinion, but they are still marrying, they don't have any different imam to pray. Okay. If you say about the school of thought, the manhaj is actually the school of thought, then if the thought that the person have, making him going outside of religion, that he's following batiniyah, things that actually, every time he recite the Quran, he will not read the Quran as being understood by the companion. He will understood it the way that he want. Then he actually going outside of Islam. If the opinion or the manhaj making him go outside of Islam, yes, you cannot marry that person. That is the difference. Because sometimes the differences you have differences, but things that not making you go outside of religion, then it's not supposed to be something that's stopping you to marry anybody. Okay, because they are still inside Islam. Because you know that you look into the companion of the Prophet ﷺ, among them, there are people who, at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, there are people who've been called as hypocrites. The hypocrites is actually worse than the polytheists. Because Allah said in the Quran in Surah Al-Nisa, Allah said, Innal munafiqina fi darkil asfali minan nar. The hypocrites are the lowest level of the hell. You know, if the non-believers is there, the lowest will be the hypocrites. But at the same time, can you see that the companion and the Prophet ﷺ didn't seclude them in terms of relationship, in giving salam, in inviting them to eat, or eating from their food. The Prophet didn't separate that. Because they are still called a Muslim. You know, as a Muslim, they are still Muslim. A believers, they are not. Allah Ta'ala said, Wama hum bimu'minin. They are not believers. But at the same time, the Prophet didn't tell them to go out from the saf. They are praying behind the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ being Imam. Behind him, there are those people. So we can see, like I said to you, if they are still in the circle of Islam, you can still call them as a Muslim, then you don't have any problem about that. Even to reproach them, to correct them. That is the way. Marriage is one of the things. Marriage is one of the way for you to reproach somebody, to make sure that they are following the right guide of Allah. That is one of the way of dawah. Okay? Yeah. Hold on. Can you give the microphone to brother? Sorry, brother. Okay. Hold on.
What about a Muslim marrying an agnostic or an atheist?
Okay, the thing is, if the person clearly agnostic, somebody that actually they have doubt. They're saying they have doubt about religion, but they don't clearly say, I am not believing. You see that these days in our country, in the student in our universities, there are groups of students that actually have agnostic thinking. They don't say that we don't believe, but we have doubt about religion. We believe in science, but not in religion. Okay, but they don't say that we going out clearly. An atheist is another thing. Atheist, person who doesn't believe any God exists. So they form that differentiation. And agnostic is actually you can, because they still have the means to believe in God, but they said we have doubt. By the atheists, they don't believe there's God, any God exists. So an atheist, no, cannot. An agnostic, if you can reproach them, you can invite them, you can have a discussion with them, do that first before marriage. Do that first before marriage. One thing for sure that our brothers and sisters have to be clear about. When you have partners that you want to marry, you have to have clear thing about this thing. You don't say that after 10 years of marriage, oh my spouse or my partner didn't pray at all, even though he proclaimed shahada. Because from the start you have to know about the belief or the faith that he have or she have. You don't complain about this after 10 years. From the first start, because you know that this marriage, you want it to be good. It's not about you compromising everything about yourself, but about the other person also compromising their self for the sake of religion. So for an atheist and agnostic, like I said, atheist totally out, but the agnostic, they have degree. Because some agnostics, they have doubt, but not really saying that I don't believe in God. They always have the question. They don't say we don't believe. I met few of the people who actually said I'm agnostic. They didn't say I'm agnostic. They said that I have doubt about the things said in the religion. But I believe in science. Science is a fact. Science is actually true. But religion, some of it is actually need proof. So you have to have discussion first. Because if you cannot be in the same page, like I said, don't dare yourself with something that you cannot comprehend after marriage. So the agnostic and atheist is two different things. Okay? Any question? Okay. About.
You know, in the West or in Middle East, it's pretty common to say that, well, you can marry the people of the book. What's your comment on this?
Okay.
Because it's like very, in certain part of the world, it's like, well, you can't do that. But in other way of things, like, let's get married. Like, let's go to the mosque and it's done. So, like, can you elaborate a little bit?
Okay, elaborate. Can you open the ayah number 5 of Surah Al-Ma'idah? Okay, the whatever being said by our brother about marrying the people of the books, women from the people of the books that been given book before us, the Jews and the Christian. There is mentioned inside the Quran in Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse number 5. Allah Ta'ala said, Al-yawma uhilla lakum at-tayyibat. This day, Allah Ta'ala said, we permit for you everything that is good. Wa ta'amukum wa ta'amul ladzi utul kitaba min qablikum halul lakum. The food of those people being given book before you is actually permissible for you. This is about the slaughtering. The slaughtering of their slaughtering is actually permissible for you, because of that we say about the kosher, the meat that being slaughtered by the Jews, actually halul lakum wa ta'amukum halul lahum, and your food means your slaughtering is actually permissible for them. And after that, Allah said, the women wal muhsanat min al mu'minat, and those people, women who actually have chastity. The word muhsanat is sometimes not being looked into by people when they look into this ayah. They said this ayah permissible for is giving permission for Muslim men to marry the women from the people of the book. Hey, brother. Wait. Okay.
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
Okay, brother? Okay. Shafaqallah wa afak. Okay. Okay. Because his leg was actually stumbled upon that leg of the table. Okay. From that ayah, Allah said, wal muhsanat minal mu'minat. Those who have the word muhsanat there, women who take care of the chastity, means that have modesty from the people of the believers, and also wal muhsanat min alladhina utul kitab min qablikum, and also the women who have chastity or modesty from those people who've been given books before you. That word is actually really being said there, that is really opposite what being done. Some Muslim going to the Western country, they married any woman from the Christian or the Jew. They married those people, and saying that this is permissible. But Allah said muhsanat. The word muhsanat there means that they have to be women who have modesty, not wearing anything around, staying around, exposing their body. That is not muhsanat, because the word muhsanat there is carefully we have to understood. We have to understand the word muhsanat, because the muhsanat is actually a guideline that Allah Ta'ala make. They are permissible for you. Okay, that is the first part. There's some people actually marrying people, the women of the Western society that is actually Christian or Jew, but they are not have modesty. They don't have any. They don't take care of their chastity. That is not what being said inside the Quran. Secondly, when you say about the people of the book before you, the scholars have dispute about whether people who are not from the same nation or religion or race, can they enter that religion? Because we know that before Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all religion are for their own race. Means that the Jews, the Judaism and Christianity are for the children of Israel. Okay? Because like the Prophet ﷺ said, Utitu khamsan, I was being given 5 things, they're not being given to the people before me, the prophet before me. Among that 5 things is a prophet before me, it will be sent only for their people. But I was sent to the whole nation, to the whole humankind. So when you see that, dispute between the scholars about, can a Chinese become a Christian? Because they are not from the Israelites. Can they convert to that religion? Because before Islam, all religion must be inside their own society. Can the European become a Christian? That is the question must be asked. So it's not just open like that. If really can be married, like I said, because being said inside the Quran, but the word muhsanat, I can see that most people actually just ignore that word and they just go and can marry because Allah Ta'ala says inside the Quran. The Jew and the Christian woman can be married by a Muslim man just because of the ayah. But the problem is the word muhsanat. It should not be left out. Because from the experience that we saw in the news, people who married the women of different religion, like the Jew and the Christian, they separated in the end. Because the way of life is not the same. You know, the values that you have as a Muslim is different from your wife, who actually doesn't have the value of the Christianity or the Judaism. Because like they don't cover their body. If they follow the Old Testament, they follow the Christianity, really Christianity, they should wear veil. Because Mary, mother of Jesus, was always be portrayed as a woman with veil. But when you see them, those who actually inside the society right now, they are not following whatever being taught inside their religion. So the word muhsanat there is actually like it's not there anymore. You have only the nisa minal ladina utul kitab min qablikum. They are women from the people that been given book before you. But the word muhsanat is not there. So careful about that. So this dispute between the scholars is there. I met my teacher. He's from Syria. We discussed about this thing. I said, but the Sheikh, you said that he said permissible. And like I said, it's a way of da'wah. One of his friends, from Syria, went to, I think, Canada. He married a woman there. And the wife only become Muslimah after 5 children. They married. At first he hold to the topic of she is from the people of the book, but this person is a sheikh also. So when he married that Christian woman, the Christian woman didn't revert to Islam yet. After 5 children, then only the woman become Muslimah. So at that point, it's actually things like, if you married a Christian woman, the children will be following who? If you are staying in the Western country, the equal right is there. But in Islam, the father is actually have the right about what religion should be for the children. They have to follow what teaching. That is the dispute will happen. Even though you can say that it's permissible by some scholar, but this problem will come after that. The problem will come after that. If the husband said, come and pray, the mother said, no, come to the church. So, things like that, you don't have a harmony family with that. Even though you said that inside the Quran, even though I said about the word muhsanat. If you care about that word, then you can see that if you want to find a Christian woman, doesn't drink alcohol, not fornicating, not exposing her body to others, that is the word of muhsanat. Not just she is from the belief of Christianity or from the belief of Judaism. Okay?
So you said that if the lady is muhsanat, then basically there's an opinion where you can get married to them. So you accept this opinion then? Do you accept this opinion then? If somebody that want to get married and
the lady is it's better not actually, because the problem will happen after that.
Regardless of the problem, but in terms of rulings, some ruling says that it's okay to do this.
Yeah, I know some ruling is there, but the problem is when you look into the practical life. As a husband, that sheikh that we discussed about him, Alhamdulillah, manage. After 5 children, Alhamdulillah, in the end, the wife become Muslimah. After 5 children. But can you imagine yourself, if you marry a Christian woman, that actually using the law of the country where she lives, Canada or any place else, to make sure that the children following her religion. Dispute will happen. By Islam, you are commanded by Allah, Qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. Protect yourself and your family from the hellfire. How do you want to protect? Do you want to implement that? Can you see the problem there? If you say that, because if she actually holding to her religion diligently, strongly, how can you make that? Because of that, I know there's opinion, but from practical side and also from the explanation of the scholars, you can make an understanding there. It's better not actually. You cannot say that it's really permissible, because if you look into the saying of Imam An-Nawawi rahimahullah, for him that the word about the people of the book, he said that the people of the book that mentioned there is somebody like Waraqah bin Nawfal. Person like Waraqah bin Nawfal or like Salman al-Farisi. That is the person who actually believing in the book before Islam, before Muhammad, and they actually in the end following Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because they are actually like Waraqah bin Nawfal was cousin of Khadijah. He became Christian before the Prophet sallam even born. He became Christian, but when he actually listened to what being said by the Prophet sallam, he know that is the angel that came to Moses. And he actually wished that he is alive and strong when the Prophet ﷺ times come. He actually did say that to the Prophet ﷺ. I hope that I am strong. I will help you when your time comes. I hope that I'm alive when your people send you away. Waraqah bin Nawfal said that. He is Christian, but he know about the Prophet ﷺ. That is something that being disputed by the scholars. And every time, actually, from our way, whenever dispute between the scholars, you choose an opinion that both of them will keep quiet. Both of them will say, okay, I will not say anything. Okay, from that point, marrying the people of the book, woman from the people of the book, will make you be inside dispute between the scholars. You're not marrying that type of women, both of them will keep quiet. So choose that is better. Then you actually exposing yourself to problem after that. Okay? What time is it? Huh? One more question? Okay. Okay, no more, alhamdulillah. Okay. If no more, okay, we stop here inshallah. Wallahu a'lam. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa sallam alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika Asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.